If I had to launch a boutique in the next 30 days, I would not rush to pick a name, to build a website, to buy inventory. My only goal would be to build a movement in those 30 days. And everything that I'm about to tell you in this video is going to be totally opposite from everything that I did when I launched my actual boutique the first time. It's probably going to be very opposite of all the things that you would think that I would say about launching a boutique. So if you're interested, keep watching because I'm about to break down the best way to launch a boutique in 2025. So the biggest thing that I realized is that we are living in the most digital era ever, but most importantly, we're living in the creator economy. Everybody's a creator. People create content for fun. People create content for a living. Like content creation is literally people's jobs at this point. But what really makes me truly believe that putting content creation at the forefront of this 30-day launch is the most important thing is because every single day I see regular people creating content about products. And they are literally just showing us, them receiving a package and them saying like, comment this word and I'll send you the link. And they're doing it for the brands that they love and the products that they love. And as a boutique owner and as a coach, I have encouraged my students to incorporate this into their business. It has worked very well for my business as well. And I just really understand the power of building community first and foremost versus promoting a product. So like I said, I wouldn't start with, trying to introduce my business name and our logo and a countdown and all that stuff. I would literally approach this like a content creator and take people on the journey with me as I build this business. I would basically take a build in public approach and I would let them see every single element of me building this business. You may see a lot of times on social media that people are doing content series. They're basically turning their marketing into a show, like a TV show. I would do that for this 30-day launch. And so basically it will be like, my very first video will be like, I'm getting ready to launch a boutique in the next 30 days. And I know that sounds crazy, but I would like to take y'all on the journey. Like my hook would be, I had this crazy idea to launch a boutique in just 30 days. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I want to take you guys on the journey. Tag along. Like that would be my very first video. And then I would talk to them about why I'm launching this boutique, what I'm excited about, what my dreams are for it. And that would be it. And then every single day or, a few times a week, I would show up and I would share where I am in the process of me launching this boutique. The bigger point here is that I would recommend that you take people behind the scenes and let them feel like they're a part of you making big decisions around this business. And although you may have already made some big decisions, let's say about like who your target audience is and what you want to sell, maybe you've even already bought the inventory, but we'll get there in a second. I want you to make people feel like they're on this journey and they're helping you launch this business, right? So it's not just share my content or sign up for my list. It's here's what I'm figuring out today. On today's episode, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to log into the vendor's website for the first time and I'm going to source inventory. And I want you guys to give me your feedback and tell me, would you buy this or would you buy that? Would you get the black one or would you get the red one? Would you get the blue one or would you get the green one? Like, let them feel like they are literally a part of this launch because people want to feel a part of something. People want to feel like they're a part of a movement. And if you can create that from day one, you're going to be significantly further off than a lot of the people who are in business right now and have been in business for years. There are a lot of people who are in business right now and they're suffering because they had never learned how to build a community. If you can start out the gate building a community, you will always make money. So my goal would not be to build a store or launch a store. My goal would be to build buy-in. I want people to buy into the idea that I'm about to launch the best boutique ever. I want them to feel like they're a part of every single moving part. So I would let them help me curate our first collection. That would be an episode. Help me curate the first collection for my new boutique that's launching in 22 days. Yeah, that would be the hook. That would be the title. And I would show them the screen. I would tell them how much it costs. I would tell them how much I'm thinking about pricing it at. I would try to walk them through the whole idea of like, wow, I got to make sure I'm making a profit because in order for me to be able to keep bringing inventory in, this is what needs to occur. I would let them not make the decision for me, but I want them to feel like this is as much your business as it is my business at the end of the day. I would also recommend that you share more about your ideal customer avatar. So you should start already thinking through like who you want this brand to be for, because you don't want to just be buying inventory for all the people who are going to give you feedback on the internet. You want to share, here's who I'm building this boutique for. I envision our customer being this type of person. And you want to give them the opportunity to raise their hand and say, hey, that sounds just like me. This is going to be your first opportunity to do market research. Imagine 150 women raising their hand virtually in your comments and saying, oh my God, this sounds just like me. And now you got 150 people you can reach out to and ask direct questions and have back and forth correspondence with to help you make the best possible decisions. You can ask them for feedback on anything because they're your ideal customer. right? I would also let them in on like how you envision your customer styling something, like what shoes you envision her wearing with it, what accessories you envision her wearing with it. Mind you, all of this is before the inventory even comes through the door. We're just showing it to them on a screen and saying, here are some ideas that we have. Do y'all think we're on the right track? Do you think we're going to meet our deadline to launch this business in 27 days? Or do you think that we're going to have to push our launch back? Find out on the next episode of whatever you name this series, child. Make it a whole entire like production, but you don't need the fancy cameras and the fancy lights and all that. All you need is your iPhone. That's it. Now, I would recommend that you work on your back end a little bit, because on one hand, we want to work on attracting our ideal customer and getting them into our world early, but we also want to build a wait list. So that is probably the one major thing that I would recommend you considering. Like, you don't have to jump directly into website building and all of that, but I would recommend that you have a landing page set up so that people can leave their email address as they're discovering this brand and getting excited about your launch. And if you're doing a good job of building that excitement and truly building in public, building this waitlist is going to be simple. Again, if you get 150 people to raise their hand and say, this sounds exactly like me, your waitlist should be filled with women waiting for this launch to occur, even without them having seen the final products that are actually, in fact, coming in. So you don't even have to offer a discount or anything at this point, but you do want to start to incorporate more calls to action that are like, sign up for our waitlist to be the first to shop, or, we're going to give you early access and things like that. And with that in mind, if you're going to be building a waitlist, you want to also ensure that you have a welcome series created. So this is where email marketing starts to come into play. I find that most people don't take email marketing very seriously when they first launch. I can raise my hand and say I was one of those people. I was very tied to my Instagram presence. And in hindsight, once I learned the true power of email marketing, I wish I had been smarter out the gate. So this would definitely be one of the things that I would tackle very early on in this 30-day launch period. Now, another thing I've learned in my journey of being a business owner and being a coach and all those things is the importance of branding. So this is something that I would take very, very seriously, but don't mistake me when I say branding. I don't mean the logo and the color palette and all that. I mean the emotional connection that I want to form between my brand and the audience that I am attracting here. So I want to make sure that I'm clear about my brand's mission, our vision, our values, our personality, our brand tone, and all those good things, so that as my brand continues to move forward, I show up consistently and strategically, not just for the sake of showing up. Again, in hindsight, I showed up on a schedule, but I did not have a marketing system. I didn't have a marketing strategy at all. So this series would be kind of a content strategy, but that doesn't mean that you have a marketing strategy. We want to make sure that you have a marketing strategy. And in order for you to build an effective marketing strategy, you need an effective brand strategy. So again, clarifying your niche, clarifying your target audience, your mission, your vision, your values, your brand tone or voice, your brand personality, and things of that nature. Now, here is where things get really fun. I am a huge AI fan. I am in ChatGPT every day of my life. I would take all of the details of my brand and plug it into ChatGPT, and I would say, help me refine this. I would write a brand story, and I would say, help me rewrite my brand story so that it pulls on people emotionally. Because if you didn't know, people buy emotionally first and then logically. So they lead with emotion and then they flip into logic. So I would say, help me to make sure that everything that I do, everything that I say, and how I show up on social media and also in my emails and things like that has that emotional connection intact, right? So use ChatGPT, plug all the details of your brand and launch strategy into it, and make sure that you are actually about to move with, I don't want to say certainty, with clarity about how you're showing up, instead of just showing up for the sake of showing up. The big point that I want to make in that last point is that I don't want you to obsess over the website. Yes, the website is important, but I don't want you to obsess over that. I want you to obsess over building an audience of the right people, helping them to feel a connection with your brand very early on, building that wait list, and having an email subscription, having a welcome series set up so that these people are being nurtured and they're being talked to during the duration of time that they're waiting for that brand to launch. So as y'all know, I've coached a ton of people, thousands of people over the last 6, almost 7 years. And the biggest thing that I found to be true about people who are launching a business for the first time is that it's not that the launch is bad, it's that they launched invisibly. Nobody knew that a launch was occurring. They literally showed up on the internet 5 days before this launch and expected people to become aware and also become interested at the same time, and then also convert at the same time. So a huge reason as to why I would focus on this whole content series thing is because I understand that this is 9 times out of 10 where most people go wrong. They have no audience to launch to. They think that they launch and then the launch is going to build the audience. No, we want to build the audience leading up to the launch. And you're going to have a much more effective launch if you have an audience of people who are literally truly excited for what's to come. So a lot of the content that I would create during that content series would be behind the scenes. I would literally show them me sourcing the products. I would show them receiving the products. I would show them me pulling the product out of the boxes, steaming the products for the photo shoot, behind the scenes of the photo shoot, whether I'm doing those photos myself or if I'm doing it with a photographer, with a model. It doesn't matter. They're going to see every single time I show up in that content series, every single time I have an episode, it's going to be another part of the behind the scenes of me launching this business. And I'm going to tell them to join the waitlist. Or my other CTA would be to give me feedback, because I want to build a business that is truly for the people, not a business that's just curated around my own likes and desires and preferences. That's not the best way to go about a business. So we previously talked a little bit about branding and the importance of it and how it plays a role in your marketing. Now we're talking about visibility. You need to make sure that your brand and your products are visible to the people that you want to purchase from you. Visibility comes as a result of marketing, so posting. And as you get that product in stock and as you start to actually photograph it and things like that, people should be seeing your brand more, because the more touch points a person has with your brand, the more likely they are to make a purchase. But after visibility is lead generation. You want to make sure that you're not just gaining eyes and gaining followers, but not getting people's contact information. Because remember what I said, if I had known that email marketing worked the way that email marketing worked, it would have been the most important part of my business from day one if I knew that back then. If I knew that 30% or more of my sales would have come from email marketing, it would have been my bread and butter back then. So branding, visibility, and then lead generation. Now, I want you guys to know that these are literally the first 3 modules of my program. Our first module is going to teach you how to create a brand strategy. The second module is going to teach you how to create a visibility strategy, something like the content series that we're talking about in this video. And then the third module is going to teach you all about lead generation, how to build a list of people and have people who are constantly joining your email list to indicate to you that they're interested in buying from you. Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any business, regardless of what you sell, because people are not going to always be ready to buy. But the easiest way to know if someone's interested in buying is to get their contact information. Now, the last thing that I would absolutely do if I were launching a business in 30 days, I would make my audience ambassadors. Like, we ain't even got no products just yet. I would be like, if you want to be our first ambassador, we're building our ambassador program and we're looking for 10 women who want to be our brand ambassadors. Comment whatever word and we'll send you more information. I will be hiring UGC creators out the gate because I want to diversify my content. I want as many people as possible who are the right people in my products. I want so many other people telling other people about my brand even before it launches. I find that so many people just move slow in general when it comes to business, and especially when it comes to launching. They don't know how to build momentum. So not only do I want to do this content series and actually talk about my brand and show them what I'm doing, I also want to build an audience of people who want to help me talk about my brand as well. And whether I have to give them the perks of a free outfit here and there or whatever, some of them are just going to be happy to have their content distributed on my platform, right? I don't know, but I'm willing to test it. I'm willing to say, hey, we would love to have you be a part of our first, group of ambassadors, saying something like, would you like to be the face of my brand new boutique? And I'm like, yes, I would love to be the face of your brand new boutique. And I'm saying this because as a coach, I hear so many people say, I can't afford a model and I'm the only person that can do this. Like, that's not true. There are people in this world who would love to be your model for free clothes, for exposure. You just have to be willing to ask people to do so. And I would ask people to do so if I were launching a business in the next 30 days. So the truth is, if I had to launch in the next 30 days, I would first and foremost show up and then I would sell. I think that so many people launch their business thinking that I just have to sell, but really you got to master showing up. There are countless people in my DMs every single day saying to me, I don't know how to make consistent sales, or can you teach me how to get consistent sales? You got to first and foremost figure out how to consistently show up for your brand, how to consistently show up and talk to people, not just shove products at them all day, every day. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we live in a totally different digital era. We no longer can just throw up pictures of products and people jump for joy. They are used to seeing content creators talking to them about their products, showing them how a product fit into their lifestyle, showing them how they use that product this morning, how they styled their product, so on and so forth. You have to adopt that spirit as well, or you need to hire somebody who can adopt that spirit or execute that within your marketing if you want consistent sales in 2025 and beyond. So yes, there are going to be brands out there who are capable of succeeding without this, but I guarantee you that it's a lot harder than it needs to be because they're not using what works in 2025. So if you are a person who is launching soon, or if you are looking for support to increase your sales or to improve your business overall, as always, drop any comments that you have or questions that you have in the comments. I will leave all the links to all the things, my program, e-commerce profit plan, in the description. I'll also include a link to book a free call with my team. We can discuss where you are in your business, answer any questions you have in the present moment, and ultimately help you to see if we can help you in any way, how we can support you in your business journey. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a fun one to make. And that's it, I guess. I'm not launching a boutique in the next 30 days, but if I were, this is how I would do it. And I hope this was helpful to you, or pass it along to someone who may need it. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye.